What's up, everybody, and welcome to my AEW review. A lot of things going on in the show tonight. What does AEW really got going on with the build to Revolution as it continues? Tonight on February the 17th, what's going on with AEW tonight? We kick it off tonight with a tag team match, Matt Hardy and Hangman Page versus Hybrid 2, Jack Evans and Angelico to kick off the show. You know, this match right here. Obviously, we're trying to figure out what Hangman signed last week since he did the whole switcheroo on Matt Hardy with those papers and whatnot. But what can I say about this tag team match? The tag team match was okay. I'll say that. One thing, and I swear this is almost like every other week, is with Angelico and Jack Evans, especially Jack Evans, is like it's some type of crazy botch that's going on. Please, somebody tell me if somebody saw that Phoenix splash that Jack Evans did and literally just missed Matt Hardy, didn't even hit the damn move on him. It's like it's hit or miss with these guys. And I like Jack Evans also, but man, I swear to God, it's just a lot of botches from these guys. It really is. And it's damn near laughable at some point. But basically, Matt and Hangman got the win. Hangman did a double buckshot lariat on both of Hybrid 2, and Matt Hardy ended up hitting the Twist of Fate on Angelico for the win. But basically, what happened after the match, though, was Matt Hardy basically saying that was a great job, Hangman and everything. And, we can make a lot of money. Well, you can make 30% of it. And I don't think you were paying attention to last week, but I sent this contract to my lawyers, and someone from the Jaguars legal team is coming to help, so they sent down their mascot and everything to bring in the contract and some balloons and whatnot. And Matt said, "You signed this contract," and it reads right here, and it's gonna be a match for Revolution. And if Hangman wins, he will get all of Matt Hardy's earnings for the first quarter of 2021. But basically, the same thing goes around. If Matt Hardy wins and everything, he will get the Hangman Page's earnings for the first quarter of 2021 and whatnot. But as they shook hands, of course, anybody saw this coming a mile away. The mascot attacked Hangman Page, which it was Isaiah Cassidy. And then next thing you know, Hybrid 2 got in the ring as Matt Hardy said, "Hey, $3,500 if you can kick his ass right now." So they start kicking his ass. The Dark Order came out. -1 basically led the charge and sent all the troops out there to save Hangman Page, which he ended up trying to hit a buckshot lariat on the Matt Hardy. Almost did, but Matt got away as, the Dark Order and Hangman, which is they're still trying to get Hangman to join. They showed some type of respect to each other as the Dark Order left in after that. Still trying to get him to join the crew. I will say this. I know some people will debate about Brody Lee's family being there and his kid. Listen, I have no problem for what the company has done above and beyond, just for his family in general and whatnot. Listen, I don't mind his son being on Dark or even on the YouTube segments, but some would argue that should he be on the main show? Because I even said that a couple weeks ago. Like, they could have done that whole birthday party thing for -1 on Dark or everything, or just doing on the Being the Elite show and whatnot. I don't want to say they're exploiting his family, as a lot of people would say. Like I said, it's better than them doing nothing. Like I said, the company has gone above and beyond, and they basically, I'm surprised his kid's not even the leader of the Dark Order at this point. That's what I'm somewhat thinking. Like, so he's the leader then, right? That's what you would expect. Because I heard he's been on commentary on Dark, but like I said, that's the YouTube shit, okay? Um, like I said, I don't really have that much of a problem with it, but I could see some arguments to if he's being exposed on there, as some would say, and whatnot. So I said, oh, they brought -1, so I'm like, he's still on the contract then, right? Or he gets a real contract once he's 18 or something like that. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm just assuming he's the leader of the group because that's what it looks like to me. And like the kid's the leader of the group then, right? So I don't know. I don't know what y'all think about with Brody's family being on there almost every other week. Do you think they're being exploited, as some would say? Because I've just been hearing that argument going around, and given that, come on, the kid he's been on TV for a good minute now. So I'm not saying he's taking anybody's spot away, but some of the stuff they could have probably just used on YouTube and whatnot. But what do you think about what's going on with that? Like I said, I don't have to problem with it. I just wanted to get some opinions on it, though, and whatnot. But the segment itself, though, wasn't that bad. And like I said, it leads into a match at Revolution. Next, the Inner Circle was in the back, talking about what happened last week with the whole recording and everything. As Jericho basically told MJF to shut up, as MJF tried to say, I tried to make good, but Jericho told that Sammy Guevara made a very big mistake. And basically, since he quit now, this is Guevara's fault. And, it's been too many stupid decisions with you, but you made the biggest mistake. And I don't want to hear that name ever again from Sammy Guevara. Some would think, I'm not going to go into the whole Impact AEW, whatever the controversy is. I think Guevara took shots at himself. Some would think that maybe Guevara would have showed up in Impact, given that he's kicked out of Inner Circle. He was going to go do something else during the time. But I don't know how much of that was a work or if that's true. I addressed it yesterday on my Impact review, so you can go check that out if you want to know a little bit more detail about it. But I'm not sure if that whole story is true or not. I've just been hearing it going around a lot lately. But basically, Jericho said that Santana Ortiz is going to win sub AEW tag titles and bring it back to the Inner Circle, which is kind of odd when you think about it, because aren't Jericho and MJF going for the tag titles at Revolution? So why would they need Santana and Ortiz to do it if they're going to face them at Revolution? Then again, I already questioned why Santana and Ortiz even have a match in general, which even they said themselves, it's been 18 months since we had a freaking title shot. I'm surprised they just now getting a title shot at this point, okay? Listen, I've questioned LAX's booking ever since they got into AEW. Like, I'm finally glad they're getting a title shot, but at the same time, like, geez, it's been 18 months. They've mostly been either in undercard matches or, I don't know, comedy segments, or they just tend to lose a lot that, or even the Inner Circle, they care more about the Inner Circle makeshift tag teams than when they're the actual tag team in the match, okay? I'm not saying they need to pay a lot of money for Conan to come back in, but man, I would love to see LAX back again, or even if since they got this partnership with Impact now, they could just leave the Inner Circle and form back up with Conan and then call themselves LAX again if they have to. So I wouldn't really mind that if that happened, but I'm just surprised, man. Like, wow, it's been 18 months and they're finally getting a tag title shot, and they didn't even have to earn it. They just gave them a title shot last week for literally no reason, okay? Oh, they're the highest rated tag team, Gallows and Anderson said. I would like to say that if they would actually get some wins, but they're getting a title shot just because. But it's crazy that they haven't had a title shot this long. Next, Serena Deeb, the NWA Women's Champion. Man, I feel like Billy Corgan should be pissed about a lot of his talent going to different companies nowadays. When against Rio in this tournament for the AEW Women's Championship, I will say this was a good match. And the women weren't in the death spot this week. Listen, I'm not the biggest fan of Riho. I'm not. But this was a good match, though. I actually thought Deeb was gonna go over. Actually, I kind of had Deeb winning this whole tournament, to be honest. But Rio, after some like back and forth roll ups and everything, Rio got the win. This was not a bad match, though. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan. I think the double stomp thing from her is good, but listen, I tried not to go into the whole size thing and whatnot, but man, I just can't sometimes take Rio seriously. I really can't. Okay, but this was a good match. I was just really surprised who won here, but given that Rio has not been on AEW in months, I guess I should have probably figured that Serena Deeb was gonna lose here. Clean, also, I should say too. And like I said, she's the NWA Women's Champion and whatnot. Now, I do want to say something about this tournament. Riho. That shit's still funny though. I do want to say something about this tournament though that doesn't make sense. And I said this last week about it being on YouTube. Listen, I watched a little of the tournament since they only doing like the stuff from Japan, and everything since they're not in America right now. I wasn't really that impressed. I thought it was like one or two good matches on there. I'll give Emi Sakura one thing. She dropped the whole Freddie Mercury thing, so I was okay with that. And what's the other girl's name they have? She was on AEW. The Yuka girl, the one with the magic carpet pants, which it's kind of funny. Me and my friend Steven was talking about this. Basically, that the women you've seen, the Joshi wrestlers that have already been on AEW, were the ones that went over. Okay. They were the ones that already went over. well, they already been in the company. That's what I'm trying to say. They've already been in the company, but they're the ones that gone over. But we've already seen them on TV. It's not like any of the new ones were there that went over. Listen, the whole tournament. Listen, I seen the whole Maki Ito girl that everybody was talking about and were hyping her up. And what's so funny to me is that her match was not even that good. I didn't get what the whole crying thing was, and she ended up losing anyway. So I don't see why people hype this girl up on the internet to begin with. Okay, what? Because she did some shit on Twitter and she responded to Cornette or something, and then everybody act like she was the shit then. And then when I actually saw the match, I'm like, this girl isn't that good. And I'm seeing everybody comment like, AEW dropped the ball. Tony needs to sign her. Like, oh, she should have been the one winning this whole tournament. I'm like, dude, after what I just saw, she's not really that good. And maybe I haven't seen enough of her matches in general, but given what I've seen this in this tournament, not that good. And listen, like I said, I had a conversation today with my friend, and when it comes to like the Joshi wrestlers, especially the ones in AEW, it's a hit or miss. Okay, it really is. Hikaru Shida is probably the most successful one you've had out there. Riho to some extent, but I just feel like it was just Kenny doing his homies a favor and whatnot. Then again, he's the one kind of running this whole division when it comes to booking and whatnot. And listen, I didn't mind Rio, but at one point, but she was barely on the show, and mostly if you knew you had to take commitments in Japan, why put the belt on her to begin with? And honestly, like I said, I could just go on the whole size thing in general, which even I said, like, she's not going to be able to carry the women's division. It just wasn't about to happen, okay? And listen, I know Aja Kong is in this tournament too, but I don't think they're going to have her win, given that, yes, she is a legend. And listen, when she comes from, what, like the 90s, like thousands, like Joshi era when it was more brutal. Some would argue that today's Joshi wrestlers mostly just a lot of bubbly anime shit going on. That's not gonna get over in the damn U.S. all the time, okay? And even so, a question: why didn't they put B. Priestley in there, who was kicking motherfuckers' heads off over there in Stardom and whatnot? I think she was the champion, but I think she lost the title at this point, given what I've seen on New Japan, since she didn't carry the belt out there with Ospreay and whatnot. But yeah, it's just I just don't get why they even booked this to begin with. I honestly don't. Like I said, they should have went with the whole Impact and AEW. They could have had brought out all the knockouts and put them against the AEW women, and then you have yourself a tournament. And what's even crazier is this: they even put the U.S. matches on YouTube. You think all the U.S. women tournament matches would have been on the actual show on Dynamite. You got most of this whole tournament on YouTube. So basically, you had like what, 2 tournament matches on TV, but you're gonna show the other 2 first round ones on YouTube, including the Japanese side of it also. So why even book this tournament to begin with if it was almost gonna be on YouTube? Listen, I'm not gonna even waste my time. I only went back given that I just remembered it like a couple days ago. I didn't even watch it on Monday. I like, oh yeah, it was. Let me go see what a little this was about. I kind of skipped through some of it too. So I'm not really. It's just like when they did the damn women's tag tournament. I didn't really watch that shit because I knew how bad it was gonna be. And I'm glad I didn't watch that tag team one because it was bad. Okay, it really was. I just went back and looked at highlights of it, and I had to have people just describe it to me because it was shit. So I really question the booking of this tournament though, and how it's done, and who they put in there, and why is it mostly on YouTube, and just the overhype of some of these people, especially from the Japanese side of it. Especially, like I said, the whole Maki Ito thing was just overhyped. Way too much overhyped, and people thought this girl was the shit for some reason. But the whole, like I said, the Deeb and Rio match was good though. So that wasn't that bad. Not a bad match, and they weren't in a death spot. But I had to say something about that damn tournament though. That shit don't make no sense. Orange Cassidy went against Luther. Why is this shit on my TV, and how to even make it to the damn main show? And honestly, why was it on my show? Not my show. Why was this on my TV? Why wasn't this on Dark? How is Luther getting this much TV time? And then this match was just there to be there, so I didn't really care. They showed a video package of Jade Cargill and Shaq basically playing basketball. Best thing about this promo, she didn't talk. And I'll say this, listen, I know she's a 2-sport athlete and she played basketball and everything, but given that, listen, we still don't know if this girl can wrestle and that, so we're still waiting on that. Wouldn't you at least show a montage of her training in a wrestling ring? and maybe Shaq to some extent too. Hey, at least he made a 3-pointer though, because we know how bad he is at that. If you know basketball, watch it. And listen, I'm not the biggest basketball fan, but Shaq ain't good at threes. Okay, but yeah, not an expert. I think everybody knows that. But like I said though, you think we'd be showing her train in a ring though as part of a video montage or whatnot? But like I said, Jade Cargill, she looks like a beast, but is she good in the ring though? That's the important question. All this. Next, Taz, Brian Cage, and Taz's son Hook headed to the ring. Taz came out basically talking about Sting and talking about all the weather issues that going down. He blames Sting and Snow to what's going down there in Texas since they've lost a lot of power and everything. Next thing you know, Snow Sting comes out with his baseball bat, basically looking at Team Taz. And Taz said, "This is the worst thing you could have ever done." And Sting like, "Oh, you always need that baseball bat, huh?" Sting threw the bat away and took off his jacket. Taz said, "Oh, you gonna be a badass, huh?" Sting basically he took off his jacket. He started throwing punches at both Hook and Brian Cage, going toe to toe with them, just throwing left hand, right hand, and whatnot. I'm like, oh shit, Sting's actually hitting moves this time. Even I had to say that myself. Sting is actually hitting moves, and you start going on Cage. I was actually about to do a damn stinger splash, but next thing you know, Hook used the baseball bat and tried to choke Sting with it, and then Brian Cage hit a power bomb on the Sting, leaving him on the ground. So I think we can all say right here and right now, is Sting can take bumps again, so that has to mean Sting is medically cleared to wrestle, and he will wrestle at Revolution, okay? Given this was a test tonight, I should say. 'Cause I'm like, wait a minute, Sting's actually taking off his jacket. Sting's actually moving. Sting's actually in the ring. Sting actually took a damn bump. Sting laid some punches, and he didn't need to use his baseball bat. He took a power bomb. Holy shit! That means he can wrestle then. I'm sure a lot of people were concerned about him taking that power bomb. No, but I'm like, hey man, we ain't seen the dude in the ring in like what, 5, 6 years at this point. So obviously he can go. He's medically cleared. Yeah, he got fucked up after that buckle bomb with Seth Rollins and whatnot. He couldn't never wrestle again. But given what we saw tonight, Sting is gonna wrestle. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, folks. He took a bump. It wasn't no light bump either. Took a power bomb. So yeah, Sting will wrestle. Next, Eddie Kingston cut a promo talking about the 6-man tag tonight. Talking about John Moxley and them basically as demons and, fighting alcohol, drugs. But Moxley's like one of the biggest problems that he can't get rid of, even with, like I said, with drinking or pills or women. So he's going to have to beat him tonight to finally get rid of him. Next, we went to the WWE champion, Kenny Omega. JR. I laughed when he said that, the WWE champion. Which, I'm not even as mad as a lot of people said when he was the WWE champion. Some people just believe that JR needs to go back to WWE or something. Like, I saw a lot of people argue about that, or he misses it or something. But I laughed when he called him the WWE champion. Don't get me, hey, JR botches. Then again, all the commentators botch. So I'm not even really gonna bother him about that. I do believe he doesn't think a lot of this shit is over in AEW. And hey man, the man speaks the truth sometimes. They just don't want to listen. But when it comes to that company. But man, we the WWE champion though. So yes, the WWE champion, Kenny Omega, I guess was talking. What was he talking to? Like in a schoolroom, a classroom or something? Or it looked like preschool or something. And did they open schools to wherever they? Well, it's Florida. They get away with anything. So apparently they let schools open right now. Well, I know they're trying to open schools, but that's a story for another day. But I guess they had some mask on. What was it? Omega, Don Callis, and Michael Nakazawa there. As Omega was there to speak to what these kids about the Young Bucks book, and talk about how business skyrocketed with him and Chris Jericho at the Tokyo Dome, and talk about the Young Bucks book. Do these kids even know who the Young Bucks even are? To be honest, I don't know. He said Uncle Kenny has to go, and I don't know, some PR person told them that they only covering the 4 to 9 demographic or something, Callis said. And I guess one kid asked, hey, they asked what Don Cassidy wants to play. Say, hey, you guys can play with Michael Nakazawa. The kid said they hated Michael Nakazawa, and then they beat the shit out of him. I don't really like Mike Nakazawa myself, so good on those kids. Then they beat the shit out of him. Then, so why was this a segment? Why were they at a golf course last week? Why are they at a preschool this week? I think it was preschool. I have no idea. I don't really know. So yeah, folks, the AEW WWE champion. Oh man, that'll end up on Botchamania though. That'll definitely end up on Botchamania. Next, the Young Bucks went against Santana and Ortiz. The whole inner circle was out there with them. The Young Bucks' parents were out there. This was a good match. I liked it. I will say this. I almost did believe that Santana and Ortiz were going to win the titles for a minute when they did the street sweeper onto the Young Bucks, though. Gotta give Santana some credit, too. Breaking out the Eddie Guerrero boots out there, Latino Heat. Given that, what was it, this week, that 17 years since he's won the WWE title, so a good tribute by Santana right there. But this was a very good tag match. Really was. The finish, though, some would argue about it since, one of the Bucks got the roll up onto Ortiz then and whatnot. I enjoyed this. I wish Santana and Ortiz, I'm trying not to call them LAX, even though I'm just used to calling them that, would get more title shots, though. But I did like this match, though. Finally, at least they got a shot. But next thing you know, the Inner Circle came out and they started beating up the Young Bucks then. And basically, put the walls of Jericho on the salt to the earth on the Young Bucks. Next thing you know, like Jericho goes in like the Young Bucks' dad's face and then pushes them in and whatnot before they went to commercial. Yeah, I will say one thing. I know I've been seeing it since this week about Jericho. So people apparently want Chris Jericho gone from the company since his wife was at the the whole Capitol riot Trump thing and whatnot. Listen, I don't give a shit what this guy's wife does and whatnot, but I don't think I'll fire Jericho because of that. I'm not saying it was a good idea to be out there, and now if she was in the damn riots and whatnot and fucking shit up, then hey, that'd be a PR nightmare from him and her. But it's not like he was out there himself. But some would argue should she have been out there to begin with and whatnot. I'm not gonna go into that right now. I just think it's kind of funny that people want him fired and whatnot. Listen, because don't get me wrong, Jericho says a lot of bullshit on Twitter, but I'm not gonna get into that right now. And someone said this best, and I hear a lot of this. It's funny because they want him fired, but they do know a lot of vice presidents in this company are like right-wing birthers. I think the Young Bucks, and they're more right-wing than they are left-wing. So it's kind of funny. They think they're gonna fire Jericho because of that. I think Tony Khan and them are too, but I've heard that for a while now. But I'm not gonna go into politics and whatnot. It's just kind of funny. They said Jericho should be fired because of his wife showing up there, but it's not like he was there himself, allegedly. But nah, I don't think he was there. I just kind of thought it was funny when people say he should be fired for it, though. But next, Brandy Rhodes came out, basically giving an announcement that they were going to do the gender reveal for her and Cody's kid. Basically, it's a girl. Some would say, did they need to do this on TV? I don't really care. Good for them. Some would say Cody's just putting himself over again. That's why they did this gender reveal. I could imagine himself put himself over because of that, but I don't think it was that. But basically, he was there for commentary. Basically, they talked about his match coming out of Revolution in a ladder match between him, Pentagon Jr., and Scorpio Sky. When the hell is the last time Scorpio Sky's been on TV? How the hell did he even get a pay-per-view match? Please tell me. I haven't seen him in so long. This match is kind of random, too, given that's a ladder match. I don't know why, but hey, it's going to be a match of Revolution, though. But Cody was on commentary for FTR, going against Matt Sydal and Mike Sydal, his brother and whatnot. I know they showed Dory Funk Jr. in the crowd. Like I said, best wishes to his brother Terry Funk right now. Hopefully he's doing better. But this match right here was kind of all over the place. Mike said Seidel was botching out there like crazy, especially that whatever move he did that was supposed to look like a moonsault, botched the hell out of it. I did like the finish though when he did the slide underneath of both FTR and then they hit the big rig on him for the win. So that last part was good, but this match was very very botchy. Okay, it was botchy. It's crazy. Me and my friend had an argument, what an argument, but we kind of said this. It's funny they keep bringing in people's brothers, and they're not as good as their brother, okay? It's like with Ziggler's brother. They brought him in. He basically wrestled like a carbon copy clone of Dolph Ziggler. Let's bring in Matt Seidel's brother. Whew! Botching like hell out there. Not as good as his brother. Why do they keep bringing these people's brothers that have never even been on TV, and they're not even as good as their brother? So, tough call right there. But after the match, FTR had a pair of scissors. They were about to cut Mike's hair. But next thing you know, the lights go out and they show the Luchasaurus mask with the horns cut out. And then when the lights come on, the Jungle Express shows up. Luchasaurus with a new mask. The Marco Stunt Growth finally found after being kidnapped. And then they fought FTR, knocked him out of the ring. Okay, let me say this about this angle. This angle is dumb. Oh, Luchasaurus got a new mask. He's got the horns back. It looks green. Who the fuck cares? Literally. Who gives a shit? Oh, he got a new mask. Can this mask grant him magical powers or some shit like that? Who cares? Oh, they cut the horns on his mask. What was that really gonna? I don't get it. Like I said, wasn't Stunt kidnapped and stuff? So who rescued him from the damn dungeon? Or wherever he was being held at. I don't understand this angle. This makes no sense. He got a new mask. He got a new mask. It's the same freaking mask. What? It looks a little bit greener? Who gives a fuck? This angle's fucking stupid. Okay, it's stupid. It really is. I don't even know why this is a thing. Oh, he returned because he got a new mask. He got a new mask. Whoop de frickin' do. It's the same mask. They didn't make him powerful. It's not like they cut all his hair off. It's not like they didn't even did anything damaging to him. They cut the horns off the mask. And he bought another mask for like what, $5 or something? Maybe even cheaper? Who cares? And I don't even want to see Marco Stunt. I'm not even gonna go in that today. I don't even want to see that motherfucker. So I don't understand where this angle is going. It's fucking dumb. It really is. But next, John Moxley cut a promo backstage. Talk about Eddie Kingston and them. Talking about the 6-man tag tonight. Also promoting the match for NJPW Strong coming up on February 26th. February 26th. As he defends the IWGP US title against Kenta. And then talked about Kenny Omega saying, he's not done with him. And that, he's going to pull the trigger and whatnot coming up. As the main event was coming up next, though. Eddie Kingston and the Butcher and the Blade went against Moxley. Phoenix with a very cool looking mask. And Lance Archer in the main event. Not a bad main event. All over the place, some would say. But what do you expect out of this 6-man tag? Crazy shit. Phoenix, he's a madman out there. I will say towards the end of this match, though, that Moxie and him no-selling, Kingston's finisher when he does that spinning back fist thing, which Mox basically damn near no-sold it. And then he hit a clothesline on him and the Death Rider paradigm shift for the win in. But after John Moxley won, he looked like he had the microphone about to say something. But the Good Brothers came out and attacked him. Kenny Omega came out then, and he had a microphone as him and Don Callis were there. As he said, I got a late Valentine's gift for you, Moxley, and what he got from Tony Khan and whatnot. And he said, listen, you do have a rematch clause, okay? Funny they talk about rematch clauses, and Jericho never got his rematch for the damn AEW title. Think about that, folks. But Omega basically told Moxley that you can't have this match, all right? And yes, you can name the stipulation and everything. And listen, we've already done the unsanctioned thing. We can't do a regular one-on-one match because he said John Moxley would be jealous. So we're going to have an exploding barbed wire death match. Moxley ended up headbutting Omega in as the Good Brothers got back in control of him. Omega ended up hitting with a V trigger in as he had a cut to his head, and the show went off the air after that. Okay, let me say this. Omega, I just don't really like to hear on the microphone at the time. I wish they would just let Don Callis do this. But let me say this. Number one, I knew it was going to be a rematch. Honestly, I thought he was about to say it was going to be a buried alive match. Because when he said, the only way to stop you is almost like I got to kill you. So, if he was going to say buried alive match, I was about to just say, we're copying the WWE, aren't we? That's what it looked like. But then when he said an exploding barbed wire death match, I was like, so this is FMW apparently. Okay, this must be FMW, but what else could they would have done more extreme? You've already done an unsanctioned match. We've already seen what that looked like. It's not like they're going to do a cage match. What's the most brutal thing they could have done after an unsanctioned match? Okay, tell me. What could have they done? But listen, apparently this is FMW. Since we're doing exploding barbed wire death match, honestly, none of these guys are not Terry Funk. They're not Mick Foley. Hell, they're not even Onita or Hayabusa. And I don't remember FMW that much. I know a little of it with ECW involved during that time, but none of these guys are not them. Maybe Moxley to an extent, since there are some. I kind of compared him to Terry Funk sometime. I think I've compared him to him more than his Stone Cold Steve Austin and whatnot. Yeah, you know what? You think they would have said this, given that I know Dory Funk was out there tonight, but if they had Terry Funk out there, you think the reason why he would have been there so they could have announced this exploding barbed wire death match? And honestly, they only do this shit where? In Japan and whatnot? And do they still do that in Japan? So I know they did in FMW in the 90s and maybe early 2000s, but do they still do that? I really want to know. And dude, when they said this match, I'm like, this feels like very indie to me, especially a death match. That's some indie shit. But then again, me and my co-hosts, we were talking about the show tonight, and he even said it is an indie on a budget, a big budget. Okay, so they do. This is basically an indie company, just on a bigger budget platform, which he is right to some extent, in a way. But this is still a major promotion, though, AEW. But I really question why are they doing exploding barbed wire death match. This is kind of up Moxley's league, given that he did wrestle for CZW back then, but I don't think he's ever done a match like this and whatnot. But this is some shit I would expect to see in Japan, okay? I really would. Or FMW. But like I said, I don't think FMW is around anymore. I think. But like I said, it's not Mick Foley or Cactus Jack. It's not Terry Funk. It's not Onita. It's not Hayabusa or whoever else did a damn exploding barbed wire death match over there in Japan, okay? So, I don't know. And given that these guys right now, currently, Omega, we know about his history in Japan. New Japan, technically, or DDT and whatnot. Moxley, only just the stuff from New Japan I already know, or maybe he has wrestled in Japan before this. I don't know, but we know about the crazy, hardcore, extreme stuff he's done too. Do I really need to see this match? I don't know. I really don't know, but we'll see. All I could just sit there saying to myself, I'm like, do these motherfuckers think this shit is FMW or something? Like, do they? I don't know. I really don't, okay? But other than that, though, that's my review of AEW. A very tag team heavy show. Damn near every match was a damn tag team match except for the damn women's tournament match, okay? Every match I've seen tonight was a tag team match. All of it. And I mean all of it was a tag team match, okay? So, yeah, tell me what you think about that. But, yeah, I'm sorry. Other than that, though, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, at Hooded Knight 890. Tell me what do you think about AEW tonight. Did you like this show? Did you hate this show? Tell me what you think about it, okay? So, yeah, other than that, hey, once again, I want to say congrats to everybody that helped me get to 500 subscribers. So, that was kind of cool finding that out on Monday. So, yeah. Other than that, though, I know I'm saying that a lot. I'm out of here. See you guys later. Peace out.